Lucy Fernandez never imagined that the moment she would be seen, truly seen, would be the same moment the world tried to destroy her. The Waldorf Astoria glittered like a cathedral of wealth that Tuesday night, its chandeliers casting gold across marble floors where Lucy's mop had traced invisible circles for hours. She worked in shadows, as always, her hands red from bleach, her uniform gray and shapeless. No one looked at cleaning women. That was the unspoken rule of places like this. But Marina had other plans. Lucy's 6-year-old daughter shouldn't have been there at all. The elementary school had closed unexpectedly, and with no one to watch her and rent due in 3 days, Lucy had no choice. She'd hidden Marina in the staff room with coloring books and strict instructions. Stay quiet, stay invisible. Marina lasted an hour. The Arabic music drifted through the service corridor like a siren's call, oud strings and rhythmic percussion that made the little girl's feet itch with longing. She'd been taking dance classes at the community center, $2 a session, her only escape from their cramped Queens apartment. Lucy was emptying trash bins near the kitchen when she heard the collective gasp from the ballroom. Her heart stopped. She ran. Through the swinging doors, past startled waiters, into the blinding light of the grand hall where 200 of New York's wealthiest stood frozen, champagne glasses suspended mid-air, all eyes on the small figure twirling in the center of the marble floor. Marina danced with abandon, her second-hand dress spinning, her dark curls wild, her face radiant with pure joy. She moved like the music lived inside her, like she belonged there, like the invisible walls between worlds didn't exist. Lucy's throat closed with terror and pride in equal measure. Then she saw him watching her daughter. Khalil al-Mansouri hadn't felt anything in 3 years. He attended events like this out of obligation, his presence required to maintain appearances, to sign the checks that kept charities afloat, to be photographed with politicians and celebrities who wanted proximity to his $40 billion fortune. He spoke when spoken to, smiled when cameras pointed his way, and felt nothing. Nothing until a child began to dance. She appeared like something from another world, small, fearless, completely unaware that she was committing a dozen social violations. The guests parted around her as if she carried an electric charge, their faces a mixture of confusion and barely concealed disdain. But Khalil watched the girl move and felt something crack open in his chest. Authenticity. That's what it was. He'd forgotten it existed. His life had become a performance. Every gesture calculated, every word measured against potential consequences. His empire spanned 3 continents, employed thousands, moved markets. But somewhere in the accumulation of power, he'd lost the ability to simply be. This child had no such burden. Khalil's assistant, Yasmin Al-Zahra, appeared at his elbow, her voice low and urgent. "Sir, security is handling the situation." The child wandered from the staff area. "It won't happen again." "Don't," Khalil said quietly. Yasmin blinked. "Sir, leave her." He moved before he could reconsider, his Italian shoes clicking across the marble as conversations died in his wake. The crowd parted like he was Moses and they were the Red Sea, their expressions shifting from shock to fascination. The music continued. Marina spun, oblivious. And then Khalil saw the woman running toward the child, her face stricken with terror, her cleaning uniform marking her as surely as a scarlet letter. She was young, perhaps late 20s, with sharp cheekbones and eyes that held storms. Their gazes met across 30 feet of marble floor. In that instant, Khalil made a decision that would detonate both their lives. Lucy reached Marina and grabbed her hand, ready to disappear into the walls where people like her belonged. But Marina was laughing, breathless, her small hand sticky with excitement. "Mama, did you see? Did you see me dance? Baby, we have to go." That was beautiful. The voice came from directly behind them, deep and accented, cultured in a way that made Lucy's spine stiffen with defensive instinct. She turned slowly, still gripping Marina's hand, and looked up into the face of Khalil al-Mansouri. She knew who he was. Everyone did. His face appeared on magazine covers, in business sections, in gossip columns when he was photographed with models and heiresses. He stood before her now in a midnight blue suit that probably cost more than her annual salary, his dark eyes unreadable, "I apologize," Lucy said, her voice steadier than she felt. "My daughter shouldn't have interrupted." "She didn't interrupt anything worth preserving," Khalil said, and something in his tone made the nearby guests shift uncomfortably. He looked down at Marina. "You dance wonderfully. Where did you learn?" Marina beamed. "Community center. Miss Rosa teaches us. It's only $2. Lucy wanted to die. The amount, $2, hung in the air like an accusation of everything Lucy was and everything these people weren't. She saw a woman in diamonds whisper to her companion, saw the subtle sneers, the way they looked at her uniform. Khalil didn't seem to notice. Or perhaps he did, and chose differently. "Would you dance with me?" he asked. Lucy's breath caught. "What?" "Not you," he said, then caught himself, something flickering in his expression. "I mean, yes, you. Would you dance with me? Here, now." The ballroom went completely silent. Lucy's mind screamed danger, consequences, humiliation. Men like him didn't ask women like her to dance. Not here, not ever. This was a joke, a game, something she'd pay for later. But Marina squeezed her hand. "Mama, dance." Lucy had been invisible her entire adult life. She'd learned to move through spaces without disturbing the air, to serve without being seen, to accept that dignity was a luxury reserved for people with different bank accounts. But something in Khalil's expression wasn't mocking. It was desperate. "One dance," he said quietly, and the ballroom leaned closer to hear. "Then you can go back to your evening, but please, dance with me." Lucy's supervisor appeared at the edge of her vision, his face purple with fury. She'd be fired. She knew that. The moment she left this ballroom, her job would be gone, and with it her ability to pay rent, buy food, keep her siblings in school. But she was tired, bone-tired, soul-tired, tired of being invisible. "Okay," Lucy whispered. Khalil's hand extended. Lucy placed her calloused palm against his, feeling the impossible softness of skin that had never scrubbed floors or washed dishes, and let him lead her deeper into the center of the ballroom. The orchestra, sensing drama, began to play. A waltz. Slow and devastating. Khalil's hand settled on her waist. Lucy's breath stuttered. She was aware of everything. Her cheap uniform against his expensive suit, the sweat on her brow from hours of work, the hole in her left shoe she'd been meaning to fix. "Look at me," Khalil said softly. Lucy lifted her eyes, met his gaze, and the world exploded. Not literally, but close. Cameras flashed like lightning. Phones emerged from pockets and purses. Lucy heard gasps, murmurs, the rustle of expensive fabric as people pressed closer to witness the spectacle of a billionaire Arab sheikh dancing with a cleaning woman in the middle of Manhattan's most exclusive charity gala. Khalil moved with practiced grace. Lucy followed, her body remembering rhythms from another life, before her husband died, before responsibility crushed everything soft inside her. "What's your name?" Khalil asked. "Lucy. Lucy Fernandez." I know who you are." His mouth curved slightly, almost a smile. "Then you know this will cause problems." The problems began before the dance ended. Yasmin Alzara watched from the ballroom's edge, her manicured nails digging crescents into her palms. She'd been Khalil's assistant for 5 years, managing his schedule, his properties, his public image. She'd been patient, strategic, certain that eventually he'd see her not as an employee, but as an equal, a partner, someone worthy of his world. And now he was dancing with a cleaning woman. Yasmin's phone was in her hand before she consciously decided to use it. A few taps, a message to a friendly journalist, an anonymous tip to a gossip site. The machinery of scandal was remarkably easy to activate once you knew which buttons to press. On the dance floor, Lucy felt Khalil's grip tighten slightly as the music swelled. Marina watched from the sidelines, her face glowing with something like wonder, as if her mother had suddenly become a princess from one of her storybooks. "Why did you do this?" Lucy asked quietly. "Ask me to dance." Khalil was silent for a long moment. The music carried them through turns, their bodies moving in unlikely synchronization. "Because your daughter reminded me what it's like to do something without calculation," he finally said, "without wondering what it costs or what it gains. She just danced. When was the last time I did anything just because? You're a billionaire, Lucy said. You can do whatever you want. No. His voice was soft but firm. I can do whatever I'm expected to do. There's a difference. The music ended. Khalil released her slowly, reluctantly. The ballroom erupted into uncertain applause, some genuine, some mocking, all of it tinged with disbelief. Lucy stepped back, suddenly aware of the enormity of what had just happened. Her supervisor was pushing through the crowd, his face a mask of fury. Reality crashed back like a wave. Thank you for the dance, Khalil said, formal now, the walls rebuilding between them. Lucy nodded, grabbed Marina's hand, and fled. She didn't see Yasmin's satisfied smile. Didn't see the phones still recording, still uploading, still spreading the moment across the internet like wildfire. By morning, Lucy Fernandez was infamous. She woke to 17 missed calls on her ancient flip phone, her supervisor, her building supervisor, numbers she didn't recognize. The television in their apartment's cramped living room showed her face on the morning news, frozen mid-dance with Khalil, the headline screaming, "Billionaire's ballroom scandal, Sheikh Al-Mansouri dances with cleaning woman." Her younger brother, Miguel, 16 and angry at the world, stood in the doorway. "You're on TV." "I know." Lucy's voice sounded hollow. "They're saying you're a gold digger, that you staged it to trap him." Lucy looked at the screen. A blonde anchor with perfect teeth discussed her like she wasn't a real person, speculating about motives, about schemes, about how women like Lucy operated in proximity to wealth. Her phone rang again. This time she answered. "Ms. Fernandez?" The voice was cold, corporate. "This is Marcus Chen from Prestige Cleaning Services. Your employment has been terminated effective immediately. You violated multiple company policies last night, including bringing an unauthorized person to a worksite and engaging in inappropriate conduct with a client." "I didn't," he asked me. "Your final paycheck will be mailed. Please return your uniform and badge by end of business today." Click. Lucy stared at the dead phone. $300. That's what she'd earned last week, the only money between her family and eviction. Marina appeared, still in her pajamas. "Mama, why are people saying mean things about you?" Lucy pulled her daughter close, breathing in the scent of cheap shampoo and childhood innocence. "Because sometimes people don't understand things, baby. Don't understand that doing something kind can look different to people who expect cruelty." "Mr. Khalil was nice," Marina said confidently. "He has kind eyes." Lucy's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "This is what happens when people forget their place. You should be ashamed. Delete yourself." She deleted the message. Another appeared immediately. Then another. The anonymous cruelty poured in like sewage, each message a reminder of how much the world hated women who dared step outside their assigned boxes. Across town, Khalil Al-Mansouri sat in his penthouse office 50 stories above Manhattan, watching the same news coverage with growing fury. "It's being handled," Yasmin said smoothly from the doorway. "I've prepared a statement for your approval. Brief, apologetic, dismissive. We'll say you were caught up in a charitable moment, that the woman misunderstood, that it meant nothing. The story will die by the weekend." Khalil looked at his assistant, really looked at her, perhaps for the first time. She was beautiful, ambitious, perfectly curated. Every word she spoke was designed to protect his image, preserve his reputation, maintain the walls between his world and the messy reality beyond. She was everything he'd been before last night. "No," Khalil said quietly. Yasmin blinked. "Sir, I won't apologize. I won't dismiss her. And I certainly won't let this destroy her life because I had the audacity to dance with someone genuine. Sir, you need to understand." "I understand perfectly." Khalil stood, his voice gaining edge. "I understand that a woman is being crucified because I made a choice. Because I wanted one moment of authenticity in a life that's become entirely performative. And you think the solution is to throw her to the wolves and pretend it never happened." Yasmin's expression remained neutral, but something flickered behind her eyes. Anger, or perhaps fear. "I'm protecting you." From what? From being human. He pulled out his phone. Yasmin tensed. "What are you doing?" Khalil ignored her. He had 20 million followers across his social media accounts managed by his PR team, carefully curated, rarely personal. He typed without consulting anyone. Last night I danced with Lucy Fernandez, a woman of extraordinary dignity and grace. The media is painting her as opportunistic. I'm here to say they're wrong. She asked for nothing, expected nothing. She simply existed in a space where people like her are usually invisible. If that makes you uncomfortable, examine why. My only regret is that my action has caused her suffering. That ends now. He posted it without revision. Yasmin's face went white. You can't. That will make everything worse. Then let it be worse, Khalil said. But worse, honestly. The post went viral within minutes. Lucy was at the food bank when her brother called, breathless with disbelief. He defended you. He's all over the internet. Everyone's talking about it. Lucy's hands shook as she scrolled through her borrowed tablet, reading the comments beneath Khalil's statement. The internet had divided into warring camps, some praising his honesty, others accusing him of naivety, still others calling Lucy a manipulative seductress who'd entrapped him. But buried in the comments were other voices, women who'd worked as maids, as servers, as invisible labor that kept wealthy worlds running. They shared their own stories of erasure, of being treated as furniture, of the small cruelties that compound over years until you forget you're human. I see you, one woman wrote, and you are not nothing. Lucy felt something break loose in her chest. Not hope, exactly, but something close. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, expecting more cruelty. Ms. Fernandez? A professional voice, female, warm. My name is Sandra Okafor. I'm a journalist with the New York Times. I'd like to tell your story, the real one. Would you be willing to talk? Lucy thought about visibility, about what happened when people like her dared to be seen, about the price of dignity. Yes, she heard herself say. Yes, I'll talk. The interview ran 3 days later. Lucy told the truth about her husband's death from cancer, about raising Marina and her siblings alone, about the community that held her together, about working 3 jobs and still falling short, about the dance that was never supposed to happen. She didn't cry, didn't beg, didn't apologize for existing in a space that wasn't designed for her. The article's headline, "The Woman Who Dared to Be Seen," it changed everything again. Khalil read it in his office, the words hitting him like physical blows. He'd known wealth created distance, but he hadn't understood the vast machinery of erasure that kept people like Lucy invisible, exhausted, ashamed of circumstances beyond their control. He picked up his phone. Lucy was folding laundry in her apartment when the downstairs buzzer rang. Miguel answered it, then appeared in the doorway looking stunned. Some guys in suits are here. They say they're from Al Mansouri Holdings. Lucy's stomach dropped. Tell them I'm not. They have a letter. They say it's important. 3 minutes later, Lucy stood in her cramped living room facing 2 corporate lawyers who looked deeply uncomfortable with their surroundings. One held out an envelope. Mr. Al Mansouri asked us to deliver this personally. Lucy opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a handwritten letter and a business card. The letter read, "Lucy, I don't have the right words for this. I'm told I've caused you suffering, and I'm told that apologizing makes me look weak. I don't care how I look anymore. You lost your job because I was selfish, because I wanted one moment of honesty and didn't consider what that moment would cost you. That was wrong. The envelope contains nothing I expect you to accept. But if you're willing, I'd like to help repair what I broke. Not as charity, as accountability. There's also a job offer from my foundation. Director of Community Engagement, proper salary, benefits, respect. You're qualified whether you believe it or not. And if you tell me to go to hell, I'll understand that too. The choice is yours. Always. Khalil." Lucy looked in the envelope, a check for $50,000, and a contract offering her a position at his foundation with a salary that made her dizzy. "This is a joke," she whispered. "It's not, ma'am," the lawyer said gently. "Mr. Al Mansouri has also established a scholarship fund for your daughter, and he's asked that we make clear, this isn't contingent on anything. You owe him nothing." Lucy sat down hard on her second-hand couch. Marina climbed into her lap, sensing crisis. "Why?" Lucy asked. "Why would he do this?" The lawyers exchanged glances. He said you reminded him what integrity looks like. Lucy didn't accept immediately. She spent a week thinking, researching, making sure this wasn't some elaborate trap. She talked to lawyers who confirmed the offer was legitimate, no strings attached. She talked to women who'd worked with Khalil's foundation and spoke of fair wages, real respect. Finally, she called the number on the business card. Khalil answered on the first ring. "Lucy, this is too much. It's not enough." Silence stretched between them, loaded with everything unsaid. Lucy took a breath. "I'll take the job, not because I need you to save me. I was surviving before you, but because the work matters, because your foundation does real good, and because I'm tired of people like me being told we should be grateful for crumbs." Khalil's voice softened. "I wasn't offering crumbs." "I know." Lucy paused. "Thank you for seeing me. Not many people do. I'd like to see you again," Khalil said carefully. "Not at a gala. Somewhere real. Coffee maybe. Or wherever you feel comfortable." Lucy thought about the impossibility of their worlds colliding, about the judgment that would follow, about how much easier it would be to walk away. She thought about Marina's face when she danced, fearless and free. "There's a cafe near my apartment," Lucy said. "Martinez's. Thursday at 3? I'll be there." 3 months later, Lucy sat in Khalil's foundation office reviewing community grant applications when he appeared in her doorway with coffee and that almost smile she'd come to recognize. "Marina told me you're teaching her Arabic," Lucy said. "She's a natural, like her mother." They'd been careful, taking things slowly, building trust through shared work and honest conversations. The tabloids had moved on to other scandals. Yasmin had resigned after the truth of her involvement emerged. Life had settled into something almost normal. Almost. "I'm not who you're supposed to end up with," Lucy said quietly. Khalil sat across from her. "I spent 40 years doing what I was supposed to do. It made me wealthy and miserable. You made me human again. That's not love. That's projection." "No." He reached for her hand. "Love is seeing someone fully and choosing them anyway. I see you, Lucy. Your strength, your pride, your refusal to be diminished, and I choose that every day." Lucy felt tears threaten. "The world will judge us." "Let them." Khalil's thumb traced circles on her palm. "The world judged you for dancing with me. You survived it. We'll survive the rest together." Outside the window, Manhattan stretched vast and indifferent, a city of millions where people like Lucy remained invisible every day. But in this office, in this moment, she felt entirely seen. Marina burst through the door, dance bag swinging, her laughter filling the space like music. She'd started real classes at a prestigious academy, a scholarship, earned not given, based purely on her talent. "Mama, Mr. Khalil, guess what?" Lucy pulled her daughter close, looked at Khalil across the desk, and felt something impossible settle into place. Not a fairy tale, something better, a real story, where a cleaning woman taught a billionaire the true meaning of wealth, and love was built not on what you could buy, but on who you chose to see. And they lived, not perfectly, but honestly, ever after.